We all know we're burdened by our own thoughts, or at least we think we're burdened by our own thoughts. Those thoughts are not a burden at all once we starve them of our own energy and attention. Some of those thoughts with which we think we are burdened are more toxic than others, however. Obviously, there are the issues of self-esteem or lack of self-confidence that go to the heart of who we think we are. We've talked about that before, and most recently I mentioned it in the context of the conceptual self and how we actually learn that in the developmental niche, all of which is meaningless in the context of me being present in the here and now. Utterly meaningless. But I want to talk about one particularly toxic thought that has come up again and again and again in conversations one-to-one with clients over the last couple of months. And that is the thought that I am angry. I want to talk about anger for a couple of minutes. Because a number of people have said to me, I'm carrying around this anger within me, which of course is a lie. You only think you're carrying it around. You've fooled yourself into thinking that you're carrying it around. But once you've fooled yourself into thinking that you're carrying it around, it eats you from the inside out. They're angry about things that perhaps happened to them maybe 4 or 5 years ago. In other words, they're angry about things that happened during their adulthood, long after they could take psychological snapshots. So why are they carrying that anger around with them? Well, if somebody did something to you 5 years ago, you, in experiencing that, would have referenced how you similarly experienced feeling that way when you were young and impressionable, probably during the 3rd year of your life, or almost definitely during the 3rd year of your life. What you learned during the 3rd year of your life was the receptacle, the category, into which you shoved similar experiences from then on. And you might have had another experience like that when you were 8 or 9, which further confirmed the feeling that you experienced when you were 2 or 3. You might have had another one when you were 20 or 25 or 30, and the one that you had 5 years ago, you're reliving an old experience. You're not living the experience of actually what happened 5 years ago. You're putting it in that receptacle, that category, and triggering the thoughts that lead you to feel anger. Now think about the madness of this. Say somebody did something to you 5 years ago. It's bad enough that they did it to you 5 years ago. But if you're doing it to yourself day in, day out since, you're mad. Only an idiot, only a lunatic would actually keep whipping themselves, having been apparently whipped once by somebody else. And I use the word apparently because maybe that isn't what happened at all. Maybe whatever happened to you 5 years ago didn't fit into the receptacle of what happened to you when you were 2 or 3. But even if it did, what happened to you 5 years ago didn't happen to you. It happened for you. And once you begin to look at things that way, you move on. And the more we move on, the more we equip ourselves to be present in the here and now, so that the past really is not just a foreign land, but a foreign land to which there is no ticket.